Hey you guys, it is I, your very own AMARU, and I'd like to welcome you to a brand new episode of Food and the Single Guy. Now on this episode of Food and the Single Guy, I'm going to show you how I prepare Chinese cabbage. It is one of my favorite leafy vegetables, and I love a leafy vegetable. Now, in my native country, we have a multitude of leafy vegetables, and some of which I will be putting for you on screen right now. I'm going to number them on screen for your convenience, and in the video description, I'm going to explain to you what is what, okay? And don't they look gorgeous? Ooh, honey. And I love me a leafy vegetable, okay? You have no idea. And even though in this country we have access to a lot of leafy vegetables from our country, the prices are sky high. And mind you, a lot of them are produced right here in greenhouses. So the prices shouldn't be that high for, a leafy vegetable that is supposedly tropical because it's not imported. So I cannot eat leafy vegetables from my country every day or every week, because not only do you have to pay so much for a couple of bushels of these vegetables, you then also have to purchase the meat, you have to purchase everything else that goes with the vegetables. So by the time you're ready to prepare one meal, you're basically broke, and we cannot have that. Alright, but enough of that. Back to the episode, because on this episode of Food and the Single Guy, I'm going to show you how I prepare one of my favorite leafy vegetables that is readily available in this country and relatively cheap. I'm going to show you how I prepare Chinese cabbage. I love it. And one thing you should know about Chinese cabbage is if you don't prepare it the right way, it will generate a lot of water. But I'm going to give you a lot of tips and pointers as to how to minimize the amount of water that comes out of this vegetable. All right? Now, of course, I'm going to list all the ingredients for you in the information box below the episode. So, without further ado, let us continue. Okay, you guys. So here we have our beautiful Chinese cabbage. And what we're going to do first, we are going to remove this part, just like so. There we go. And then we are simply going to separate the leaves, just like so. All right? Nothing to it. Now, as you're busy separating the leaves, the closer you get to the middle, doing that, you will need to chop off an extra part of the bottom, okay, as you can see right now. And this was the first part, all right? And this is the second part, and then this was the last part, and this is what I'm left with. This part, I am simply going to chop it up finely, but the rest of the leaves, we are now simply going to wash them, and then I'm going to show you how I proceed. Okay, you guys, so the leaves are washed. What I'm going to do next, I am going to place them in my colander to drain completely. There we go. So after about 10 minutes or so, we are going to start chopping. Oh yes. Okay, you guys, it is now time to cut the Chinese cabbage, and I'm going to show you how I do it. One thing you need to know about Chinese cabbage is that it will generate a lot of water, a lot of fluids, and most of it comes from the thick part of the leaf, okay? So what I always do, I always separate that thick part from the leafy part, just like so. All right? There we go. And then I simply cut the thick part into thin strips, just like so. Not too thin, not too thick. This is what we're talking about. All right. Now, when you do it this way, you guys, you will notice that when cooking the Chinese cabbage, it will generate a lot of water, but not half as much as if you were to cook it together with the leafy part. Okay. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go ahead and chop all of the thick parts of the leaf into these thin strips. And then next, what we're going to do, we are going to stir fry these parts, making sure that we're getting rid of most of the moisture that is trapped into these, into this thick part of the leaf. All right. So let me go ahead and finish doing that. And I will be back with you in about a couple of seconds. Okay, you guys. So here we have it. My stems are thinly sliced to perfection. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're working with. And another reason why I always prepare Chinese cabbage this way is because this part of the leaf is very tough. It is tougher than the leafy part of the leaf, if you will. And if you cook this part and this part together, your vegetables will turn into a soggy mess, and that is not what I'm about. Okay, I don't like soggy vegetables. So you will see in the next segment that I will stir fry this part on high heat, making sure that most of the moisture that is trapped in this part of the leaf will be evaporated. It will generate a lot of fluids and water nonetheless, but not half as much as if you were to cook this part and this part together. Okay, if that makes any sense. So let us continue. Okay, you guys, so from here, you know the drill. I've added a droplet of oil to my pot. To that, I'm going to add my ginger. And to add some color to the Chinese cabbage, I am using a purple onion. There we go. Of course, we're going to give this a quick stir. I am now going to add some garlic powder. This will do. Next, I'm going to add some black pepper. There we go. And now we're going to add the thinly sliced stems. There we go. And you want to stir fry these bad boys on high heat with an occasional stir for about 5 to 7 minutes. Keeping in mind that you do not overcook them, you want them to have somewhat of a bite, a slight crunch, if you will. And remember when I told you that most of the liquid comes from the stems? This is what I'm talking about. See? So whatever you do, do not add water to these vegetables when you cook them. And by all means, never cover the pan. So now it is time to add the leafy part, just like so. So next what we're going to do, we are going to season the Chinese cabbage with a crushed chicken stock cube. There we go. And of course, we're going to give it a quick stir because the vegetables are almost ready. And you want to continue to cook this on high heat with a regular stir, because if you don't, it is going to turn into soup. And nobody likes soupy vegetables, baby. This is done. And of course, I'm going to show you what it looks like in the next segment. And there we have it, steaming away nicely. Doesn't it look gorgeous? And baby, when I tell you it smells gorgeous too, you can smell that ginger and that garlic. It is all ready to be consumed. Now let me go ahead and give you a delicious little serving suggestion, also known as the final presentation. And there you have it, a delicious bowl of Chinese cabbage as prepared by your very own food and the single guy. Baby, let me tell you, if you prepare your Chinese cabbage this way, you are going to love it and you're going to prepare this more often. Okay? Now, if you decide to try my recipe, I'm sure you will let me know how it turned out because you know I'm always interested in hearing from you. In the meantime, I want to wish you a happy day. Thank you for watching. Happy cooking, happy eating. Don't add crazy to the craziness. And I'll talk to you very soon, you guys. Have a good one. Bye.